Fire up hearts. Whew. F-U-H. Fire up hearts. Whew. I don't know. I just came up with that tonight or earlier today. I was going to read Psalm 79. I was going to continue reading. I can see. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Psalm 79 is when God's continued guidance in spite of unbelief. So even when there's rebellious nations, I mean, he still has his hand over things, or maybe it would even be worse than what it is. So, give ear, O my people, for my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will hide them from their children, showing in the generation to come the praise of the Lord. And I'm going to get an index card to follow better, because it is a little dark, so. This is verse 4 in the middle. Showing in the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he has done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come may know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. Verse 8 of Psalm 78. And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God. Now, the new covenant covers all of these things. Okay? The new covenant God of grace and forgiveness, as long as we're repentful. Oh gosh. Carrying, alright. Oh my god, now my eyes are gonna tweak out. Crazy. And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God, and refused to walk in his law, and forgate his works and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as an heap. In the daytime also he led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness and gave them drink as out of the great depths. He brought streams also out of the rock and caused waters to run down like rivers. And they sinned yet more against him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness. And they tempted God in their heart by asking meat for their lusts. Yes, they spake against God. They said, could God furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, he smote the rock, and the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed, and he gave bread also, and he provided flesh for his people. Therefore the Lord heard his, and was wroth, so as a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel. Verse 21. And with that, I'm going to take a moment to close my eyes and see if I can get any sort of intuitive reading. And for me, yes, I say with the Holy Spirit and my ancestors. But I don't speak with my ancestors. Okay? Not very often. I might allow like once a year if I feel like it's kind of when they come back, or some come back and visit at times. Depends on where they are in the realms. It's too complicated to get into now, but I call out to the Lord. I ask for support and protection from angels, ancestors, and however he has it set up, I leave it in his hands. Now, I haven't been keeping up on any of the news. The last I checked, it was even worse. There was more fires. There was more earthquakes than what's been, I think, recorded simultaneously in a very long time. So that doesn't mean that we won't necessarily get through it. We very well could get through it. And I think that there is a new beginning. It's still very tumultuous times, but I believe God is lifting up certain tribes that were once buried, and they're in amongst you. They're in your neighborhood. They're in your church. They're at your school. They're at your job. And he's going to rise them up. And they're going to be the ones to help in keeping true peace and true order, but not in an aggressive manner, not in this tyrant manner that's going on. And it's just a matter of holding on tight, holding on tight. I was getting that, brace yourself, meaning maybe we're all going to experience a major earthquake. As for the seizure, this sign, I thought, and not a sign, it literally was a warning. It wasn't like, oh, this is a sign, because I don't believe in rapture. But I do believe in a potential final judgment. But, I don't know. So, we'll see. Just over here, there's some kind of weird glare. Sorry about that. And, so I don't know if that seizure's going to happen down along the Mississippi River. It would be due to explosions, earthquakes, fires, trembling. But I don't know. And it'll make it extremely difficult to transport goods and services. So it's really important to understand that Creator God and the realms are very angry. There's been enough revealed about the underground that is surfacing, about the exploitation of children, the lies, the cover-ups, the corruption in the church, the warmongering, the violence in the streets, the violence at the hand of cops. I mean, just like ostracizations, people being scapegoated in families, some being sought after, attacked, ridiculed, abused, beaten. People having to estrange from families at a rapid rate. I don't know. They say, oh, well, the division comes. It comes before the end. Well, then I guess maybe we're near the end. But this can still seriously go on for a long, long time. And I mean, I don't know if we're understanding that. Like, this isn't going to let up. It's not going to go back to what it was. The prices aren't going to go down. All we're going to have is a collapse. They're still taking out farmers left and right at a rapid rate. People are losing their farms. They're losing everything. And it doesn't seem that there's going to be an end to it anytime soon. So yes, I truly believe that this is very important for you to, oh, small thing that makes me happy. Oh, where'd you go? A lot of things. I learned to appreciate the simpler things in life a long time ago. But the most simplest, I don't know if that's really simple because it's a necessity, but running water, hot and cold running water. That's not simple though, technically. But what is something that's simple? Just to be able to, I mean, it's gonna sound really cheesy, but just to be able to have access to hug a tree if I feel like it. We have trees in our yard and they're really big. They're really old. They're getting real old. And just sometimes if I know there's enough barrier and shade of leaves and other trees that nobody will see me, I like to give a tree a big old hug. Especially if it's one that I've never met before and there's not a lot of people around. So if we're hiking or at a park, I do like to hug a tree. So it's just something from childhood and I held on to it and it kind of humors me. So that's something. Do you have any other questions? It's good you got me over that end of the with the collapse thing. Get me off of that. Come on, ask another question. Oh, all right. Well, then don't. But I won't be able to stay on much longer because I don't think if it's 20 some minutes it'll even download. So, or no, it will. It takes longer, but one day it wasn't. So I'm at about 12 minutes. I can't see the chat though. Well, I don't see anyone in the room, but that's one simple thing that I enjoy. A hot bath, another one, my favorites. So, well, I'm gonna get going, but really, I was getting very strongly brace yourselves. We have to brace ourselves. And I just think that the best way to do that, that's just my prerogative, just my beliefs. You might have a whole other way to go about all this, but like I just find that leaning into what I believe is source inside of me, outside of me, I see it as both, uh, helps me sustain through the worst of the worst. And like that last assault where they tortured me for 2 weeks in the county jail in 2024, November 9th, after dusk, and then continued to torture me in the jail for a week. And to literally get an attorney to touch this at all, this case, we're looking, I think, upwards of 50 to 100,000 to just retain an attorney. And I can't imagine letting this piece of shit get away with this and these other pieces of shit that were set up to do that to me because they needed my heart to explode again. So, but I know that that chapter's over and the stalkers are less. It's not completely gone, but it's definitely less. And but someone's chipping away at trying to, they had stolen my identity some years ago. It's a chain of events that's been really just non-stop onslaught crazy. But I'm gonna get going, and I love you, and I wouldn't want to be you, you wouldn't want to be me, but together we can help others and each other and others and one another, all be